about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not.
Hello friends and enemies. Welcome back to Happy for Now. We're here for another Romancelandia monthly. And I'm gonna preface this month's episode with, y'all aren't gonna be happy when I'm done, most likely, and I'm sorry. But I think it's important to go over these things, and at the end of the day, that's why I started this. So we're gonna say all the things that happened in the last year with authors behaving badly. I'm gonna call some other things out here too. And you know, it is what it is. If you are new here, I cannot recommend you check out the Romancelandia primer that I did in December, where it kind of recaps the first year of this whole thing that I've been doing. And I think it's the most helpful way to get up to speed with what I'm talking about. You know, I'm gonna save the juicy part for the end, so stick around. And you know, we'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, I honestly, this month has been not a joy to put together necessarily, but it's been interesting to reflect back on everything that happened. So let's just go ahead and kick this right off with Bookish Stuff. That's the biggest thing I have right now. And I wanted to share some fun, happy things happening in February, or that happened in January, that you should know about. So first of all, I wanted to tell you that Nick at Infinite Limit of Love put together a great list of romances coming out in the first half of the year. I will link to their blog post down below for you. Be sure to check it out. I honestly was thrilled by this because I'm using it to go through and set up my quarterly release videos, and it's just really helpful, all these bloggers who go out there and put these lists together for us. So thank you, Nick. Super appreciate it. I don't even know if you watch me. Doesn't matter. Trying to make sure we shout out some of the fun things that romance bloggers are doing, because, you know, they deserve attention too. I wanted to make sure you all are aware of the new channel called Now That's Black Love from Ashley and Deidre. This is going to be an awesome resource for those of you looking to read more diversely this year, and I hope you are, because they're going to be covering Black love. And we're not talking interracial romances, we are talking two Black characters in love, and I think that's something a lot of us need to read more of at the end of the day. So I'm really excited for their content, and I really loved their intro video that they did. It's very cute. A+ acting. I also wanted to share the Black author readathon that is happening in February. Steph from Steph's Romance Book Talk and a whole bunch of other amazing Black romance booktubers / booktubers in general are participating or created this, and there's Instagram posts. It's just amazing. It's such a good resource to find some Black romance booktubers to follow, Instagrammers, and book recs. Y'all, they have put out so many book recs for this, and it's just, it made me so happy because I love when I can get book recs super quick and easy, and I know that I can go check that hashtag and dig through and find something when I'm in that spot where I need something to read. So you've got a limitless resource right here with how many book recs they've all put up. I mean, it's just amazing. There is a bingo board, I believe, for this, and it's going to run the whole month of February. On that note, let's talk about February. Let's talk about Black History Month. Here's the thing I want to tell you. If you can't even pick up a Black author in February, there's a problem. And if you only pick up a Black author in February, there's also a problem. You should not make an effort to only read these kinds of authors in their history months. That's like really shitty, okay? Like, it's super shitty. So please don't do that. Please think about these things as you're picking up books throughout the year, because there is absolutely no reason that you can't pick up, if you're a romance reader, all kinds of love books. We read romance generally speaking because we love love, I would say, and we like watching relationships develop. So that should not hinder your ability to enjoy any kind of romance with other characters that don't look like you. I personally really love reading books that are not a reflection of myself and that feature characters that don't look like me. And I think that you, in general sense, should also make the effort to do so if you are not already. I also want to say that intentionally avoiding anything that shows joy around Black people or other people of color is a really shitty thing to do, because their lives are not just pain and hard-hitting. You just really don't do that. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. You know, there's so many resources out there for learning more, for expanding your rec lists, for where you get your recs. that I promise you can find books that you will love by people who do not look like you. I want to make sure everyone that participates in these readathons continues to support after these readathons, because it's not just 1 month, it's not just 2 months when there's protests, it's not just when you think you have to show up to look good. You have to keep showing up, y'all. You can't just drop it and run away. Like, that's not, they don't get that privilege. So you need to be thoughtful in these things. And I just want to remind everyone before we get to authors behaving badly that being a shitty person and not supporting all kinds of love all year round is not a personality trait, nor is being racist. You're just a shitty person. And you know, that's your choice, but I'm not gonna associate with you. Like, we can't be friends. Like, we literally cannot be friends then. So just, it's not a personality trait to not do these things and to show support. And it really is a matter of literally picking up 1 book a month, maybe 2. It just depends. And branching out, you know, there's such a vast array of underrepresented romances that I would just love to see. I would love to see more of them on BookTube. So I think that's just me and that's my opinion on that. But yeah, I just make sure that your support doesn't end on February 28th for these kinds of authors, or start on another month, and that's the only month you read them. All right, something kind of funny. There's always this joke on Twitter in Romancelandia about, like, when you come for Nora Roberts and you get, like, shut down. And I'm not a huge, like, I don't read a ton of Nora Roberts, but one of her books had a casting announcement, and Alyssa Milano was cast, and a bunch of her readers in her reader group on Facebook were not happy and were throwing a fit. Literally just hatred for the actress, and like over 1,000 comments in an hour making derogatory remarks against Alyssa Milano. Basically, Nora said that she keeps politics off her page generally, but they've now dragged it onto her reading group, so she just wanted everybody to know that she supports the choice and that she does not support the people who disagree, and basically who are hardcore Republican anti-maskers, etc. They can F off. It's a really it is really honestly kind of funny to read, because, you know, some people just don't think about things before they post them. And yeah, basically she said, I'm a liberal Democrat, and all of these comments were basically also directed at me, an author you supposedly love. So I think it's really funny. So come for Nora, get fucked, literally, because she's not here to tolerate anyone's shit. And I think that's really funny overall. It's a great read. I will link to the blog post down below, because I personally don't go on Facebook, but that way you can see what she said in response. But I just think it's really funny that these people were that up in arms about a casting choice. Issues aside, maybe with Alyssa Milano and other things besides her being a liberal. It's just weird. All right, y'all, are you ready? So here was my criteria for picking the authors who behaved badly. It's not that I'm trying to limit my list, but I also didn't want to spend my whole like research time and a whole getting angrier and angrier. So I picked the authors who to me stood out as like really badly behaved, showed no remorse, no apologies, and that I think people maybe are forgetting about / have forgotten about. Also, one that happened in January. So first of all, we have my favorite to trash talk right now, which is Megan March. Not only is she the queen of unnecessary duets / trilogies, she posted in May this post that I'm going to show right here. She basically called everything, you know, heartbreaking. And then she says that people are selfish and heartless for asking questions about constitutionality with masks. She says that viewpoints are being censored, and because they don't conform to the official narrative, despite the facts continuing to change on an almost daily basis, and that she doesn't recognize the world we're living in. you know, she went to law school, so she understands the Constitution, is what she's telling us as well, and says that we're living in tyranny. If you think wearing a mask means you're living in tyranny to protect others, I would love to send you to a country that is actually like, you know, that. And, you know, that's a good post, honestly, to go check out and vet who you're following. Because you may be surprised to find out that some of your favorite authors are on that post commenting or agreeing. And it sucks. I very quickly added her to my do not read list. Not happening. And then the next day in May, like literally the next day, she literally posted a thank you, thanking everyone who agreed with her, even though the comments, and even Christina Lauren commented and told her that she was wrong and is just doubling down on her privilege, which she literally is. So basically, like, Megan was just mad because she couldn't go to the gym. And I'm not joking. So yeah, don't read Megan March maybe. She's a shitty human being. And I just, you know, I want to say I would love to say I was surprised, but I'm not. I'm really not. You can kind of tell sometimes when people are this way, and yeah. The next one I've got is this delightful new press release from a author that used to write for Kensington, I believe, and does in the inspirational romance category, which is a category I've said many a times I will not read, because I think there is an inherent, and I'm not saying every single inspirational romance author is this way, okay, but there is something systematic happening in this category that allows behaviors that encourage these kinds of people, and that is racist. At the end of the day, y'all, this category is full of it. It is full of microaggressions and racism and anti-LGBTQ stuff, like everything. It's got it all. So Scarlett Dunn decided she was going to come out with this delightful cookbook called The Cookbook for Deplorables, Make the Kitchen Great Again. And it's a basket of people that don't look like her, pretty much. So yeah, she says the cookbook is literally branded for deplorables, irredeemables, ignorant rubes, uneducated, ill-informed, racist, misogynist, populist, apologists, xenophobes, homophobes, selfish, chumps, rednecks, Bible thumpers, Nazis, Uncle Tom, intolerant, and bitter clingers. I have so many. Do you ever just want to scream? Because that's what this whole description of this book, this whole press release, I literally just want to scream. What the fuck is wrong with her? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why is this a personality trait also, by the way? Like, because it's not. Like, you're literally just a shitty human being pretending this is a personality trait, y'all. I don't understand. Like, I do not understand. Well, anyways, she posted this, which was delightful. And then people emailed Kensington. The cookbook was self-published, by the way. This was not published by Kensington, but people emailed Kensington because that was her publisher. And Kensington said, we're not publishing her anymore. So there you go. You know, sometimes badly behaved people do get their, like, punishment. Sometimes they don't. Like, Megan March still hit 50K on freaking Instagram, but, you know, who cares? Because, you know, they like her books, so it's fine. But I do think it's a really important thing to think about where your money goes. Whose pockets are you lining? What are they supporting? Oh, and then we got a classic, y'all. A classic. This is the Jamie McGuire of the Beautiful Disaster fame, right? Isn't that what that book's called? Anyways, I read it forever ago. I've since removed my rating or put it down to 1 star. She is apparently an author people don't realize is problematic. I've known for years about her. So the reason she's on this list is I had some people this year surprised. This year she was spotted on Parler. That's right, Parler, making comments about the Kenosha killer and how he was a hero, among other things with the riots. I will link to a full blog post from Beck and Books, who literally detailed all of the issues with Jamie McGuire, and I can't recommend reading it enough. She did attempt to run for, like, state legislator situation in Oklahoma, but hadn't lived there long enough, so she couldn't She was running on a Republican platform and is like anti-mask, anti-vax. She's nuts, y'all. She's nuts. Don't read Jamie McGuire. Don't wreck Jamie McGuire. Just don't, please. Thank you. And then my personal vendetta / high horse. Everyone's fave and my least fave. That is going to just make everybody mad, and that's fine. You can choose to still read her. That is your choice. I just choose not to support people who want to profit off Southernness while reinforcing Southern stereotypes that are not accurate, when there's a lot of us out here in the South really trying to do the work to make systematic changes, because guess what? We've been gerrymandered to hell and back. And that is Penny Reed. I know, like if you watched my anti-TBR video, you'll know this. I won't read Penny Reed. I have a stack of signed books by her that I'm giving to someone who really likes her books, because I'm not going to read them ever. It's just not going to happen. Because here's the thing. She, in the middle of the pandemic in March, told people that you had to prove that you were a real Penny Reed fan in her Facebook group. And if you didn't prove it, you were going to get kicked out of the group. What? There is no, like, really no membership limits on Facebook. I mean, there are, okay, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are, but she was nowhere near that limit. So what benefit does it have for you to kick people out if they're not a big enough fan of you? Your Facebook group is literally an advertising platform that you can advertise your books and what's coming out and connect with fans. Like, that's what that is. Like, I work marketing, like that's what you use them for. Why would you kick them out? Why? Much less in the middle of March, when like we had just started our like stay-at-home program here in the States and people were freaking out, rightfully so. We're still scared and trying to deal with this whole new way of life. I don't know. I would have been a little pissy if I got kicked out of that group. She backpedaled once she got called out on Twitter. But the other reason I will not read Penny Reed is in the first Winston Brothers book. She has a skinhead buy the lunch for the couple. And I guess people don't know, but skinheads are not a good thing. They're generally closely associated with white supremacists, at least where I've been, and here in the States. And I'm not saying like everyone that has a shaved head is. I'm talking about very specific terminology used by people who are this and who are badly behaved in general. And like, it's in Tennessee, which does have an issue with the KKK. Like, to set a book in Tennessee and to use that, it just automatically implies that. That's what it does. And if you know anything about the South, you know that. You know that. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have to ruin it. And I know a lot of people just breeze over that line. I've got it highlighted on my Goodreads because I'm like, y'all, it's right here in the book. She could fix it. She could change it. They could be anything else. She could update the book. But that's never happened, so here we are. Yeah. So that was the Penny Reed drama this year and slash my qualms with her. Again, your choice on all of these authors, but I am at least giving you the information so you can make your informed decisions. And then we have Seven Rue. This was a wild one. I was like, a bunch of my friends sent this to me. They're like, did you see this? So With Mary did a whole video calling out Seven Rue / Sierra something. Seven basically made a fake profile and started bullying other authors, posting fake reviews on other authors' books, and then real like reviews on her books. And then Mary's video is like 30 minutes. It's wild. We have no confirmation, obviously, but it seems pretty positive that Seven Rue and the Sierra person are the same person, and that she was impersonating other people, leaving bad reviews and bullying other indie authors. And I just don't understand. Like, other authors are not your competition at the end of the day. This relates back to a tweet I literally saw yesterday that said other authors are your competition. But like, let me tell you, I find books through other authors who wreck them all the time. They're not competition. They're your friend. Y'all, y'all, these people. And let's just continue right on with bullying. LJ Shen, who I've read like 2 books from, I think. She got caught rehashing plots of a 2 movies together into a book. So she did The Devil Wears Prada and Monster-in-Law into 1 book. She also has been called out for bullying other indie authors. I'm gonna link, there's 2 Instagrams that, no joke, have like so much crap on her. It's wild. It's a lot to parse through. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But what it looks like is she would like invite people into her circle and then she would like push them out and be nasty. Which, why? Who cares? Again, I don't understand seeing other indie authors as your competition and not your friends, and an opportunity for y'all to build each other up. That is how I think a lot of us view BookTube, or should view it, because it really is a chance for everyone to grow and build up the more people that find us and learn about us. And then a highlight, I think, that cracked me the F up is Eileen Holderbrand, who I read for a reading vlog that I did, finds negative reviews on Instagram and comments on them. Here is the comment, and about how hard she worked on the book. Eileen is romance adjacent, kind of women's fiction-y. This is really bad behavior. Justin did a whole video on how authors and reviewers should interact together, and one of those things is authors should not interact in reviews, especially negative ones, because reviews at the end of the day are not for you. They're not for you, authors. They are for us, the reader, to share things. And also another person that did this was Connie Schultz, who apparently searches her name on Twitter and targeted our friend Laura over at Laura's Library Card. If you aren't following her, you should check her out. And she had a slew of harassment sent her way because Connie replied to this tweet and said, well, I enjoyed the book. And it was just like an auto update from Goodreads. And then all of Connie's like fans came for Laura, and it was a literal mess. A literal mess. All right, y'all, and one last go of it. One last one. We have an author who thinks, I'll put the statement up here. You can read it for a minute if you want. I'm not gonna read it all to you. It's kind of long, but she basically says, don't be a Karen. Don't post trigger warnings on this book. It's best experienced going in knowing nothing, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're sensitive if you need triggers. Yeah, so this author left notes on the book like, this is a blanket trigger warning. That is not effective. That doesn't tell me anything going into a book, because the things in this book, y'all. But yeah, she literally says to reach out to her to ask her if it's in the book, and that the book's gonna make you uncomfortable, and then don't be a Karen, y'all. Ma'am, no, ma'am, that's not how this works. You don't get to say, here is a blanket trigger warning. I need readers to reach out to me and tell me if I should read this book. The book is Follow the River by C.E. Ritchie, by the way. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you the triggers right now. So if you wanna read it, you know. I have also posted a review on Goodreads with the triggers, because quite a few reviewers said I'm respecting the author's wishes and not posting triggers. Again, reviews are for readers, not authors, so I don't care. So there is rape committed by both the main character and the love interest. There is abuse and molestation from a step-parent and biphobia in this book. Yeah. So just, if you're gonna read it, go in prepared. But, you know, I'm just gonna say, it's just such a bad choice, y'all. It is such a bad choice to say, I'm not gonna give you specific trigger warnings. I'm just gonna tell you this whole book is full of triggers. Well, I think those triggers are pretty easy ones to say, this happens, these are triggers, and move on. It's really not hard. It's really not. And so many amazing authors I know are going back and adding in trigger warnings to the front of their books, which I think is so good. And I love it. I'm really happy to see this happening. And yeah, don't be shitty. Just don't be shitty. So did I say one last? That was the last one? Well, I was wrong, because editing me just set my camera back up because I realized I missed one. And we got to talk about this. This book showed up on NetGalley this month called The Homefront by D.W. Hannikin. It is about a woman in Wisconsin working near a prisoner of war camp with German soldiers in World War II. The author says they're not Nazis because they're prisoners of war and they're just German soldiers. Or no, I'm sorry, the publisher said that they're not actually Nazis. If you fought for Germany in World War II, you were a Nazi. There is no line. And then it gets worse because there's like a comment in an interview with the author about how he thought they were all villains with horns on their head, which is like directly anti-Semitic, and my mind like cannot process this book. So here's the cover. It's got that fun illustrated rom-com feel happening. Y'all, don't request this book. Don't read this book. Don't do it. I'm gonna be real mad if I see anybody I know reading this book. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. And I'm real mad that it's marketed like this and that it looks like some sort of rom-com weirdness, and it's not. It is a super hard-hitting topic that does not deserve to be written, like, it should not be in this category. It should not be marketed this way. The way the publishers responded to emails is a blanket response, literally justifying the choice to publish this book. And then they paid the money for Kirkus to review it. And Kirkus said, it's an engaging homefront tale with a likable female heroine. Y'all, stop it. Stop it. Stop writing Nazis in your books. We don't need to read about Nazis. Also, just, they don't need an HGA. They don't need it. They don't need it. They don't deserve it. It's not hard. Alright, I'm gonna go back to regular me. I'm angry. I'm just gonna go punch things. On that note, remember, Nazis, plantation owners are a no-go for heroes. Not good news. Stop writing them. And everyone deserves love, so read all kinds of love as much as you can, especially in the rest of 2021 and for the rest of your life. But you know, you can start small. If you want to chat with me about reading diversely, or if you need help or direction or tips, advice, let me know. I'm happy to chat with you. I have been on my journey personally for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's hard. I'm not going to tell you that. And you got to start small. You got to take steps, okay? You're not going to hit that 50-50 split your first year. So you have to take steps, and you have to be cognizant of what you're picking up. So yeah, if you want to chat about it, let me know. I'm happy to talk with you about it. And what else? I think that's it. If you want links to anything I talked about, it is all in that description box, y'all. And be sure to hit the thumbs up if you liked this video. I will be back next month with the next Romancelandia monthly. I also have a form down there if you want to send me anything to talk about. It's anonymous, so you can submit stuff. Don't be mean in the form, because then I'm gonna have to close it and it's not gonna be a thing anymore. But if you do want to, you can drop those things down there. Any whatevers you want to spill for me, like you want to give me any info, go for it. Also, as always, you can tag me on Twitter and elsewhere to bring things to my attention. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, y'all.
Really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know.